welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into something truly fascinating, possibly the single most important artifact in all of Chinese history.
That's got to be the imperial seal of Qin Shi Huang, the Chuanggu Yuxi.
Exactly, and this isn't just, some old piece of jade. Our sources, they actually call it China's first national treasure, something almost divine.
The symbolic weight is immense.
So our mission today is to unpack its, well, frankly, incredible 1,500-year story. It passed through, over a dozen dynasties?
At least, yeah.
And then try to solve the big mystery. Why did it vanish? And I guess where could it possibly be now?
And it's crucial to get this up front. The value wasn't really material. I mean, yes, it was carved from precious Lantian jade, this beautiful blue-green stone.
Right.
But its real power, it was all about legitimacy. Owning this seal, it basically certified you as the rightful ruler, chosen by heaven.
Okay, let's dig into that. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, unified China, 221 BCE, right?
Okay.
He gets this seal made. And his prime minister, Li Si, writes the inscription. What was it? What words held that much power?
So the full inscription in this very ornate birdworm seal script was 8 characters. It translates roughly to received mandate from heaven, longevity, and eternal prosperity.
Right.
But the absolute core, the part the entire system hinged on, were those first 4 characters. Shou, Minutian.
Received mandate from heaven.
Precisely. That's it. That's the divine permission slip. It meant the emperor's job, his very position, was granted by heaven itself, Zhengguan Shenshu.
The divine right of kings, basically.
Yeah.
And wow, that changed everything, didn't it? Our sources say it created like 2 classes of people.
Fundamentally, you had the emperor heaven's son above the law and then everyone else.
Even the crown prince, just a regular subject.
In the eyes of the law, yes. Just another subject under heaven's chosen ruler. And you can see why everyone wanted that seal. It was the ultimate key.
And people really believed it held like mystical power.
Well, think about it. Qin Shi Huang did unprecedented things. Unified the whole country, standardized weights, measures, script.
Right, it must have seemed like he had divine backing.
Exactly. So later rulers thought, if I hold his seal, maybe I get some of that celestial mojo too, that protection.
So the stakes were just enormous. It wasn't decoration, it was proof. Proof your dynasty was legitimate, not just, successful rebels.
And we see the flip side of that later on. Think about the Eastern Jin after the Western Jin collapsed. They set up shop in the south, but the northern regimes, they mocked them mercilessly, called them the Whiteboard dynasty.
Redboard. Why?
Because they didn't have the seal. They lacked that divine stamp of approval, made their whole claim seem weak. That's how much this piece of jade mattered.
Okay, that really sets the stage. So the Qin dynasty itself didn't last long. What happened to the seal when they crumbled?
Well, Qin fell apart pretty quickly. And the last Qin ruler, Xing, he surrendered it to Liu Bang,
The founder of the Han dynasty.
the founder of the Han. And for Liu Bang, getting that seal was instant validation. He just won a rebellion, but the seal said, nope, heaven chose you now.
A pretty useful thing for a new emperor. But it didn't stay safe for long, did it? It became a political football, especially centuries later with Wang Mang.
Wang Mang, yes. He was obsessed, absolutely obsessed with ancient rituals and legitimacy. He usurped the throne, founded his short-lived Jin dynasty.
And he needed the seal.
Desperately. So he demanded it from his aunt, a really formidable figure, Empress Dowager Wang Zhengjin.
And she was loyal to the Han, right? She wasn't happy.
Not at all. She saw him as a traitor. The story goes, when his messengers came demanding the seal, she just lost it, screamed at them.
And then, this is the famous part.
She reportedly slammed the seal down, right there on the floor, in anger.
Oh, well.
And that's the key moment for the seal's physical history. It hit the ground, and a corner chipped off.
Just snapped off.
A piece broke away. And later, to make it usable, that chip had to be repaired with gold.
And that gold corner became its identifier for, the next 1,000 years?
Exactly. It was like a battle scar. Proof you held the real thing, the one that had seen history happen.
Incredible. So Wang Mang gets defeated eventually.
Inevitably, yes. The seal went back to the restored Han dynasty, Lu Zhu, founder of the Eastern Han. But the damage, the chip, was permanent. Everyone knew about the gold patch.
So it survived that drama, kept the mandate going for the Han.
Yeah.
But then things get chaotic again. End of the Eastern Han. 3 kingdoms, period.
Yeah. Massive upheaval. Yellow Turban Rebellion. Warlords carving up the empire. Dong Zhu sacks the capital. Luoyang.
And the seal vanishes.
Poof. Gone in the chaos. But then you get one of those amazing flukes of history. The general Sun Jian, his troops are cleaning up the ruined imperial palace in Luoyang, and they find it. Not in a vault, not hidden carefully.
Where?
In a well, just lying in a well.
No way. Just found it.
Found it. Incredible luck. Sun Jian knew its power, but maybe felt he wasn't strong enough yet to claim the throne himself.
So what did he do with it?
Yeah. Eventually, it ended up with Yuan Shu, another ambitious warlord.
And he wasn't so cautious?
Not at all. This is like a cautionary tale. Yuan Shu gets the seal and immediately declares himself emperor. He figured, I have the seal. Heaven must back me.
How'd that work out for him?
Total disaster. He failed miserably, alienated everyone, and was dead within 2 years. The seal didn't guarantee success if you were, well, incompetent.
A lesson there.
Yeah.
Okay, so after Yuan Shu's failure, where does it go? The dust settles eventually.
It finds its way to Cao Pai, son of the famous Cao Cao.
Right. Founder of the Wei state.
Exactly. And Cao Pai, he understands symbolism. He knows just having it isn't quite enough. He needs to mark the transfer.
Mark it. How
And now he has craftsmen engrave characters right onto the side of the seal. 7 characters.
What did they say?
Cha-cha, basically, the Great Wei received the Han imperial seal. He's literally writing his dynasty's legitimacy onto the artifact itself.
Wow. So now it has the original inscription, the gold repair scar, and the Wei dynasty's claim carved into it. But the journey wasn't over. More chaos followed, right? Jin dynasty, 16 kingdoms.
Absolutely. The seal just kept absorbing history like layers in rock. During the 16 Kingdoms period, this incredibly turbulent time, another ruler gets his hands on it, Shilair.
Not Han Chinese, right?
No, and he adds his mark. On the other side, 4 characters. The Mandate of Heaven belongs to the Shi clan.
So it's becoming this multi-layered historical document. You could almost read the history of power struggles right on its surfaces.
Precisely. The original text, the chip, the Wei engraving, the Shi engraving, all these layers made it unique, identifiable.
Which becomes important later. But first, we get to what sounds like, well, the end of the line. After passing through the Sui and Tang dynasties, it reaches the later Tang, year 936 CE.
Yeah, 936 CE. This is a really dramatic moment. The later Tang emperor, Li Kangke, he's facing invasion. The Khitan army, helped by a collaborator, Shi Jingtang, they're closing in.
He knows it's over.
He knows the dynasty is finished, and he makes a final decision. The seal, this ultimate symbol of heaven's mandate, cannot fall into enemy hands.
So what does he do?
He takes the imperial seal, climbs Wanu Tower in the palace, and sets himself on fire. Self-immolation.
Taking the seal with him into the flames.
Taking the seal with him. And this is the first major, very plausible theory for its destruction, Jade. It's stone, essentially. Intense heat. It cracks. It shatters.
So that could be it, 1100 to 157 years, and then just destroyed in fire.
It's a very strong possibility, the end of its documented journey.
History and legends, they don't like clean endings, do they? Did everyone accept it was gone?
Not quite. Yeah. The idea of the mandate embodied in that seal was just too powerful to let go of easily.
Yeah.
Fast forward about a century to the Northern Song dynasty, Emperor Zeng is ruling.
Okay.
And this man, Duan Yi, shows up in Jianyang. Yeah. And he claims to have the seal.
The actual seal.
After the fire.
That was the $1 million question for the Song court. Imagine the implications. Yeah. If it's real, their legitimacy gets a massive boost. So they had to check it out. Who authenticated it?
Top officials, including Kai Jing, a very famous scholar and calligrapher. And here's the puzzle. According to the records, the seal Duan Yi presented matched the historical descriptions perfectly.
Meaning?
It had the gold-repaired chip from Wang Mang's time. It had Cao Pai's 7-character Wei inscription on one side. And it had Shi Li's 4-character inscription on the other side.
Whoa. That's incredibly specific. Too specific.
That's the debate. Was it the genuine article somehow saved from the fire? Or was it an incredibly sophisticated forgery? How would a random guy like Duan Yi know exactly what marks should be on it?
What do scholars think now?
Many lean towards it being real precisely because the details were too accurate for a likely forger back then. In any case, it was real enough for the song. They proudly claimed it. The mandate was theirs again.
Okay, so the seal gets a second life. It survives the Song dynasty's fall. Ends up with the Mongol Yuan dynasty.
Correct. The Yuan held it. But then, about 90 years later, the Ming rise up and overthrow the Yuan.
And the last Yuan emperor, Yuan Shundi, he flees.
He flees north, deep into the Mongolian heartland, the Gobi Desert area. And crucially, he takes the seal with him.
Ah, so it vanishes again. But this time, maybe for good. Because of how the Mongols buried their emperors.
Exactly. This is where the trail goes completely cold. The Mongol Khans practiced secret burials. It was an incredible process.
How did it work?
They'd find a remote spot, dig the grave, often under huge tents to hide the activity, bury the emperor. Then they'd replace the soil, turf, everything, block by block, in the exact order they removed it.
So it looked undisturbed.
Completely. Then they might run thousands of horses over the site to flatten it. A year later, grass grows back. It's indistinguishable from the endless steppe. Yuan Shundi's tomb has never, ever been found.
And Seal was likely buried with him.
Wow.
After 1,591 years, it just disappears into the landscape.
Vanishes without a trace. And you can understand why the first Ming emperor, Zhu Yuanzong, was obsessed with finding it. He even launched military campaigns partly just to recover the seal.
Because without it, his own legitimacy felt incomplete.
Absolutely. It ties back to that whole mandate of heaven idea. The Han scholar Deng Zhongshu talked about this. The mandate wasn't static, it was mutable.
Meaning heaven could change its mind.
Essentially, yes. If a ruler governed poorly, didn't care for the people, heaven could withdraw its support and give the mandate to someone else.
And how would people know heaven was unhappy?
The sources say heaven sent signs, natural disasters.
Like earthquakes, floods.
Exactly. Droughts, plagues, floods, earthquakes. These weren't just random events. They were seen as cosmic warnings, proof that the current emperor was losing heaven's favor.
So having the seal was like saying, yeah, things are tough, but look, heaven is still with me.
It was the ultimate reassurance, the physical proof against those omens.
Okay, jumping way forward now. There was a famous false alarm, wasn't there, right before the Qing dynasty took over?
Oh, yes. That caused a stir. In the 17th century, a seal was found, presented to Huang Taiji, the Manchu leader who was consolidating power.
And he thought it was the seal.
He immediately claimed the title of emperor based on finding it. But experts quickly examined it. Turned out it wasn't the Qin seal at all.
What was it then?
It was another ancient, valuable seal, but one given centuries earlier by a Han emperor to a Xiongnu king, possibly linked to the story of Wang Zhaojun. Important, but not the seal of mandate. So the real one stayed lost.
Okay, so bringing us to today. After this epic journey, what are the main theories about where the Qin seal is now?
Well, we're basically left with three main possibilities. Theory one, it's still out there, buried but undiscovered, probably in Yuan Shundi's lost tomb somewhere on the Mongolian steppe, waiting for archaeology.
The optimistic theory.
Right. Theory two is the one based on that dramatic fire.
That it was simply destroyed back in 936 CE with Li Conca. Gone forever.
The pessimistic but possibly realistic view, jade shatters in fire.
And theory three, this was intriguing.
Theory three suggests it does still exist, but it's not buried or lost. It's held privately, passed down through one of the world's very old, very established, super wealthy families.
Like hidden away in a private collection.
Exactly. Think about it. Artifacts of this magnitude, this symbolic power, they often disappear into private hands, circulating among people who value the history, the prestige, maybe more than any political claim. Old money collects old treasures.
Which leads to the big so what question for today, right? If someone does have it, let's say theory three is true, why keep it secret? Why not bring it out?
And that hits the core of why the seal, while priceless historically, might be politically awkward today.
How so?
The seal represents the divine right to rule, absolute authority granted by heaven, putting the owner above mortal laws.
Okay.
But we live in a very different world now, an era of, human rights, democracy, equality, at least in theory. The idea of one person being chosen by a deity to rule everyone else, it just doesn't fit.
So showing up with the seal wouldn't make you emperor?
Not really. It would make you the owner of an incredibly valuable, historically potent artifact.
Right.
But using it to claim actual power, it's irrelevant or even dangerous. It represents a system most of the world has rejected.
So it's better off hidden?
For the owner, probably yes. Why invite the controversy? Better to let this symbol of absolute divine authority just slumber in some unknown secret place, as one source put it.
What an incredible story. From Lantian jade to that chip becoming proof, found in a well, scarred by engravings, maybe burned, maybe buried.
Its entire journey mirrors the struggle for legitimacy in Chinese history.
And its final disappearance, maybe, reflects the fading of that whole idea of divine mandate, power shifting elsewhere.
It's a compelling thought. The symbol vanished as the concept it represented began to wane. Which leaves us with a final question for you, the listener. If that seal was found tomorrow, dug up from a tomb or produced from a vault, what actual power would it hold? Would it just be a museum piece? Or something more. What really grants legitimacy in our world today?
Something to think about. That's all for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.